There's certain things you got to do physically so you're strong enough to remember the truth. Because remember, fear is physical. You feel it in your throat or your gut. So is courage. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. It just means you're strong enough you push through in spite of the fear, right? And courage feels different in the body. So when you go lift or you go for a sprint or a strong run or you jump in that freezing water, when you push your mind to go beyond what's comfortable, you feel a strength inside you, and that strength will help you to change your body, your emotions, your relationships, whatever. Jim Rohn taught me success leaves clues, man. Find someone's got what you want, study what they do, every aspect of it, and then add yourself to it. And that's the pathway to speed of transformation. So now, I've done it. I'm not the only person. There's so many companies that went from worse off than they'd ever been in their history to the best off because they found a way to pivot. But that required a psychological piece of not blame. So maybe it's time for you to think for yourself and model what works instead of just what you're told. That's something to consider for yourself. Now, some people early on are trying to find their purpose. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? I gotta find my ultimate purpose. Who said there's one freaking purpose? There's lots of different purposes as you go through your life. But most people are trying to get that. They haven't even figured out what the hell they're gonna do. They haven't even figured out to enjoy their life. Your purpose will unfold if you do the right thing. So now to answer your question precisely and specifically in short order, you need to put yourself in a position, if you're gonna be successful, is to have ideally your own business or a business where the more value you add, the more you earn. You can work for someone else and do that. If you had stock options, you could do that if you've got bonuses. But to me, autonomy, if you really want an extraordinary life, I believe, this is just personal preference. This is my opinion. This isn't the truth for everyone. You can find yourself in a place where the more value you add, the more you can grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, then you can write your own ticket. And so owning your own business to me is one of the ways to do that, or partnering with somebody in a business, or working for somebody, but where they treat you as a partner, you get a piece of the business. So you don't have to be only on your own. But if you're gonna grow, you need to make whatever business you're part of, even if you work for somebody else, you gotta think like an owner. Because if you do, you become one. And if you think like an owner and you're gonna succeed.
You wanna get your routines right. What made the great athletes, not their natural talents, that the right routines.
Right.
So you've gotta nail your habits, and the best in world leaders, they really have great habits. So many of them, 5 a.m. club. So many of them, they go to the learning every quarter. So many of them have masterminds. So many of them are into personal development. They'll never tell you about it,
right,
but they're into personal development. So many of them are runners or into fitness. I mean, that is a game changer. You want to get fit like a professional athlete, watch what happens every other period of your life. And there's so much science confirming wisdom. But once you get your thinking and your intellectual life together, so that's understanding, then you go out in the world and your behavior reflects the wisdom. The second summit or second inner dimension is your emotional life. Like, there might be entrepreneurs listening, well, what does this have to do with building a great business?
Well, most entrepreneurs, most creative people fail at producing their creative product and monetizing it, right? So your default position, if you're a creative person, is you're gonna fail. And that's because it's hard to come up with something new, and it's presented to the market at the right time, and it's hard to market it. Like, those things are really, really difficult. And so what successful entrepreneurs do is they just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And eventually, if they're fortunate, one of their ideas happens to hit the right place at the right time. And so that's also Darwinian in some sense. You know, you're creating all these little enterprises that are sort of alive. They're run by people after all. And even if your idea is good, that doesn't mean it will be successful. There's so many things that have to be taken into account. So this is partly why persistence, and that's part of conscientiousness.
If you have anger in your heart, if you feel small and powerless deep inside, you're not going to uplift your team and inspire them to unleash their brilliance on the world because you're a scared little kid. So that's the emotion. Forgiveness, anger to love, remove the emotional toxicity. Third inner part, your physical dimension. If you don't have any energy, you can't have the stamina to put in the time, or stress knocks you down. So the inner part, I call it the 2 massage protocol, twice a week, a 90-minute massage. We haven't, right? Eat the right food. I'm playing with intermittent fasting. I'm throwing a lot, but but intermittent fasting, right? You want to get more done, eat less food. Make sure you're running the morning workout, et cetera, et cetera. And then finally, 5 a.m., pay them the money, 5 a.m., 3 times a week, it's a game changer. And then the final inner piece is your spiritual life, which is, there's tons of research, I shared some with you, which is the number one source of happiness is find your cause. But if you are so stuck in your ego and your human beingness that you're not living for a cause that's larger than yourself, then you're not going to be on fire and change the world.
Everyone says in any relationship, whether in business, personal, everybody wants the truth. They'll say, please be honest with me. Your weakness, when you tell somebody about their weakness and you're being honest with them, they think you're attacking them. And the reason most people feel like you're attacking them is because the individual that's identifying your weakness has the same weakness as you do. And they don't deal with it, but they want you to deal with it because they're hoping if you deal with it, you can help them. And the best way to turn a weakness into a strength is very simple. Find individuals who your weakness is their strength and find out what they did or how you can associate with that individual.